Alright, so this is the next episode here, and we're going to work on basically this piece right here and this piece right here, and we're going to texture those. Now, I put the texture on both, or on one image, so we can do all at once at the same time. And the uniqueness about this is it's going to need a transparency map in there, so we're going to work with that as well. So basically we're going to have Photoshop up, and this is my UV map here. And from here I'm just going to, the first thing that I want to do right off the bat is something very simple. I just want to color code everything, and so I know what's what. And so I've just got a basic brush that I've got. You can use the hard round. And all I'm going to do is with this, I'm going to simply grab this piece, and I'm going to go over and just lightly color code. So this is going to be my outer light here, and I'm going to kind of do this as a kind of a brown color here. And I'm just putting this layer here like so, nothing fancy. In fact, if I wanted to do this even faster, I could simply go with the color picker here and invert the selection, and we can simply go from there. We can simply control backspace, alt backspace, and there we go. We've got that filled in, and then I can slowly start getting rid of some of this, some of these pieces. So what I would do is, here's my copper gray, and I'm going to grab, let's see here, how do I want to do this? So I'm just simply going to grab this one, and we're going to keep this one as kind of a white here, and I'm simply going to go control backspace and fill that in. Then what I'm going to do is here's this copper piece. I'm going to keep that a copper piece. One of the things that I'm going to do real quick is open up my, let's see here, either my window, it doesn't matter if it's my window or if it's, so I'm going to open up my window here, and I'm just going to color pick this kind of main color here. And that way, with this main color, what I can do is start selecting some of these pieces like so, and oops, there we go. And that gives me the initial fill for this. Something like this. I'm just going to fill that in. So this is my chain, I think, and just going to jump into 3ds real quick here, and go into the UV editor, and so you can kind of see what pieces are what. So piece. Okay, so the only other piece that looks like it needs real quick is the, and we're just going to go back here. The only other piece that looks like it's part of this is this piece here. Jump back to Cintiq real quick here. Oops. There we go. And so, and then I've got these pieces here, which they don't even need to be colored because they're actually should have been deleted. But okay, so with that in mind, I'm going to just simply save this off, and we're going to save this as lamps and call it a PSD. That's fine, and say OK. And then we're going to go into our main scene here and grab this and simply go into our maps, grab a new map, and put in our bitmap, of course, and this would be lamps UVs. So I'm going to just grab that, and I'm going to collapse it. That's fine, and I'm going to make sure that is shown like so. and we're just going to go up one level, and I'm going to call this lamps, and that way I know what it is, and I can simply grab like so, and grab like so. Alright, now I painted this white as the wrong color, so I need to kind of focus on some of these things. So I'm just going to kind of Alt-Q. Oops, that's not what I wanted. Let's check off the isolation here, right here. I'm going to Alt-Q this, and that way I can look at this as a whole and start kind of working on this. So what I'm going to do is go back to Photoshop and simply go in and with our color picker tool here, and let's just actually grab this. There we go. That's that. And then we're going to grab, oops, I'm going to grab this one here and actually just do a white. So I'm just going to brighten that up here like so. And so with this in place now, that should flip the other pieces over. And then from there, it's just a matter of starting to paint the scenery. I'm going to create a new layer here, and we're just going to deselect here, and I'm just going to go into the polygon tool here and grab something like this. So there's this, and with this new layer, I'm just going to pick a tonal value, probably go towards the yellow, probably a little bit brighter, maybe a little bit brighter, yeah. And then I'm going to just fill this in like so, like that. And then I'm going to grab this, select transform. Let's just flip that around. If I hold in shift, it'll rotate it accordingly. And let's grab this again. And we can just flip that vertical. And so with something like that, as long as it's in there, that basically starts off with my initial shape. Now this over here, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to actually create a new layer, and I'm going to start defining my chains. So my chains are going to be kind of a loop, and what I'm going to do for that loop is I'm going to just pick a kind of lighter color here, something just noticeable. And with the chain, I'm going to grab kind of this round shape here, a little bit elongated, and you can kind of go in and clean up and play with. But I'm just going to try and get this as fast as possible here. So there we go. And then I'm going to grab this, like so, and we're just going to merge these two layers so they've got 3 rings now. And I'm actually going to bring that one up over here, and I'm just going to grab this guy here and move him down. So he's kind of tight up there. And then what I'm going to do is, actually, you know what? I'm going to undo that. I'm going to grab that layer and probably put it like this, and deselect, and just kind of move both of them like so. Now with that in place, what I can do is basically take a basically take a darker color here, and I'm going to use, actually let's do a new layer. Let's build our system first. So I'm just going to kind of put in something like this, and I'm just going to drop those down like so, and there is our chain, and I'm going to merge those two layers together, and so now we have our upper chain and our lower chain. Alright, and from there what we're going to be doing is we are going to be kind of really quickly shading in our scene here, and starting to kind of get that highlight and shadow going on. So this is our base shape right now, and what we're going to be doing, actually I can do this. I'm going to just grab this and grab with a control shift here, grab both of these, and I'm just going to go into select inverse here, and we're just going to erase this like so. And all that's going to do, and I'll get to that in a second, but all that's going to do is basically create our initial chain. And actually, I'm just going to, and I think I'm doing it in the right form, but I'm going to just lock this layer. I'm going to pick my shadow here, and I'm just kind of going to, there we go. So I'm going to pick this shadow here, something like that. I'm going to just shade the bottom section here, like that. And then we're going to go into this one here. I'm going to lock this layer, and I'm just going to shade kind of the insides and a little bit of the underside, like so. And then probably a little bit around the corners, like that. And so that's going to give me the real quick shadow that I need. And I'm just going to shade the inside here, and like so. And there we go. So that gives me that chain, and then what I'm going to do is make that transparent, and I can actually simply go to adjustments here, hue and saturation, and I'm going to actually lower, we're just going to lower this here like so. That looks good. I'm going to do the same thing with the saturation, just lowering it like that. And then I'm going to add a highlight on here. So I'm just going to, actually I don't even think I want to add a highlight because it's being a lamp. Maybe I'll just add a little bit on the sides here to kind of simulate that bounce lighting, but I'm not going to add too much highlight on this. And then we're going to jump down to this one here, and just kind of on the outer corners here like so. Just to show a little bit of light and dark. Alright, and that's my chain. That's good enough. Let's go on to the next one. I've got my chain. I've got my shadow here. What I'm going to do is grab this here, this piece, and simply I'm going to add a layer effect. And I don't do this often, but once in a while, sometimes it's just easier. So we're going to add just a little bit of an inner shadow. And so something like this, and like that, and let's do, actually no, let's not, let's do an inner glow. Let's do that first. So with the inner glow, I'm going to set that to multiply, and we're going to choose a black color or a darker color. Maybe even, let's pick this color and go darker. Say OK, and let's do something brighter here. And instead of multiply, let's go to screen. I'm just not liking the effects that I'm getting here, so not bevel. Let's go try inner shadow here. Let's do like a 45 this, and then this one is a 45 like that. So something like that. You know what? I'm just not liking it, so I'm just going to do this by hand. Lock the layer, pick a darker color, and just slightly go over. Do something like this. And that just shows me a little bit of indent. It's nothing major, but it's just enough to kind of give you that idea of there we go. Good enough. So we're just going to add this all in there like that. And then if you want, you can put a design on there. I'm going to take a look at it before I get too much into it. That way I can, really take a look at and see what's going on. But I'm going to just save it off, and then we're going to take a look at in the 3D version here. And so this is let's just do this. And so as you can see, this inner light here, you can see the chain. Actually, you know what? I don't like that chain, so we got to fix the chain here. It's just not working for what we need. And we can fix that actually pretty simple. So I'm going to deal with that. But the lamp itself is fine. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to just look up at the bottom here. That's actually Alt Q. Oh. Alt Q here, and I'm just going to look up at the bottom, and from this I can actually add a kind of a light bulb in there, and that way it'll look like it's glowing a little bit. And this is okay. However, like I said, it's not the chain I want, so I think I either need to remodel this a little bit or play with the particular pieces. All right, and so that'll be in the next video. Hey, I wanted to thank everyone for subscribing to my Patreon, and if you haven't yet, check it out.